Thank you all for being here. And to those most directly affected, our hearts and prayers go out to those people. We thank you for your willingness and your time to come testify today. I'm going to focus, given that it's part of the Utah's 3rd Congressional District, affects a lot of districts and states. But President Begaye, I want to ask you, the EPA administrator said, quote, the EPA has closely coordinated, and then she goes on, and to include the Navajo Nation. What's your assessment of the close coordination of the EPA?
Thank you for the question. And first of all, the coordination, if it means waiting 2 days before you're notified, I would not label that as coordination. The first time we had conversation was at a conference call on Friday afternoon where EPA told us that the cleanup would take decades to complete. I was stunned by that statement because I thought that, as EPA said before, at a hearing, public hearing on Saturday evening, the next day they said that the base of the mountain, the water was clearing up, and we had just returned, excuse me, that was Sunday afternoon. We had just returned from the mountain and taken photos of the river, went to the mouth of the mountain, looked inside, and it was still very much the color of orange juice, very much yellow. And I told the EPA person that this is what we saw. And the person that was answering the question to the public at that public forum in Durango, he said, well, I was told different. I was told that it was clearing up. If that's coordination, and if that's what they thought, it was completely false.
What happened when you tried to go visit the site? Describe to us, and our time's short, we got to be quick, but what happened when you went to go visit the site?
We decided to go up there on Saturday and to go up there on Sunday, but we decided to do that on Saturday. So we made a call, we started making calls to Region 6, or to the Denver office. And they said, well, you can only go up to the first blockade and that's it. And so we kept driving towards the location. And so I told that individual that's on my staff, I said, well, call Region 9, see what they say. And so they start talking to the person from Region 9. At that point, we realized that the regions were not talking to one another. So as we got up to the mountain, we were given clearance to first a blockade, and then they said you can only get down to the base, down to the bottom. And you couldn't see very much of what took place. And when we proceeded to drive up, and it was not a really difficult drive up to the area. And I didn't realize that the mouth of the mine was just a little ways further from where we stopped. I thought it was further up, so I jumped out of the SUV and start walking up the hill. And when I got up to the top, that's where the mine was. And so we were first told we could only go up to the blockade, which is about at least 2 miles away. I mean, you can't see a thing. It's all tall pines and so forth. But it was through the other region, Region 9, that gave us a little bit more clearance to move a little bit further up the stream. And even at that point, I didn't realize that we were supposed to stop there. No one told me that that was the stopping point. So I just kept walking, and no one said.
This is. I want to get the full accounting of this, but it is absolutely ridiculous that the president of the Navajo Nation is not allowed to go see what is happening to his people. It is a terrible embarrassment and demands an apology as well. Last thing that I have time for: explain the standard Form 95 and what was happening in the days after the spill to the people there in the Navajo Nation.
On that Sunday afternoon, I got a call, and they're saying we're sending people. They will come and help you. They'll be on the ground to assist you. And I was very thankful that EPA responded so quickly, that they sent 2 people to help us monitor the situation. And so they flew into Durango. They took a car down from there to Farmington on to Shiprock, as that's what they told me. And so later on, we discovered that there were in the communities up and down the river giving out this Standard Form 905. We didn't know that was taking place until one of the local officials in one of the communities called us up and said, this is what they're passing out. What do we do with it? And our Navajo Attorney General took a look at the form and immediately caught the waiver language. I asked to see it. They explained what that meant to me, what that meant to our farmers and our ranchers. And so we immediately put the word out. We got on radio immediately. I called the radio station and in my Navajo language explained to the people not to sign that form, because if you do, you're not going to get full compensation for the damages that you incurred. And we did news releases. We put the word out there. Some of the local papers ran that story on our behalf because this was just a slap in the face. We felt that the EPA was trying to minimize the damage payments that they were going to make, and that was our experience with Standard Form 905.